And it's the morning of November 5th. I just finished this scarf. It turned out absolutely lovely. It has a very smooth, very silky texture, and it looks so pretty. I really love it. And I have such mess on my desk, but I love it. I love this creative and working mess. So what I'm gonna do now is roll this yarn into balls and start working on the second scarf. It's the morning of November 5th. I started working on my second scarf. It took me a while to figure out which pattern I should use for it, because this is variegated yarn where the color changes quite frequently. So this is the pattern that I'm going to use for this scarf. Very lacy, very open with puff stitches. And I started following the tutorial as it is, you can see right here. But what I'm going to do now is undo this part and start all over. I want to make a row of double crochets first and then continue with the lacy pattern. And if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you probably noticed that in my early videos when I was making scarves, I was making them just as it is, just starting with the main pattern right away. But in my most recent scarves, I started making a row of double crochets at the beginning and then also at the end of the scarf, so that let me find the end of the scarf right here. So here I have a row of double crochets, and at the bottom of the scarf where I started crocheting, I have a row of double crochets. So this is what I'm gonna do with this scarf. I'm gonna add a row of double crochets in the beginning of the scarf and a row of double crochets at the end of the scarf, so that the edges have a more finished look. Alright, so here I made a row of double crochets and then working the lace pattern. And I like the way this scarf is coming out. The colors are bright and cheerful and very Christmas-like. These puff stitches remind me of cranberries or some other winter berries. The previous scarf that I crocheted was with clusters, and this one is with puff stitches. And I know that some crocheters struggle with puff stitches, but I love them. I think I can make a puff stitch quicker than I can make a cluster. So I'm really enjoying working on this scarf. It's moving on quite fast. The yarn is 50% silk, so it's very smooth, and periodically it slips off my hook, but otherwise this yarn is very pleasant to crochet with. The lady who commissioned me these scarves gave me complete freedom in choosing the pattern or the stitch for each yarn, and she said that she totally trusts me and all the scarves that I make are beautiful. And I feel so honored that someone has that trust in me. And it's very exciting to me that I can choose the pattern myself. And oh boy, do I have a lot of lacy scarf patterns to choose from. I think there are at least 40 lacy scarf patterns on my channel. I'm going to crochet just one more row, well, maybe two, and then I will go for a walk, because if I sit and crochet for too long, my back is going to start hurting. I've been crocheting all day long today and I've done quite a lot of work. The scarf is almost half done. I'm approaching the end of the first ball of yarn, and well, I'm very disappointed. It's just too narrow. When I started it, it was fine. It was slightly more than 8 inches wide, but as I crocheted it, it stretched vertically, and right now I have about, let's see, about 7 inches, and that's just too narrow. I need a scarf that would be 8-9 inches wide. And I don't know, some people might say, well, big deal, a bit more narrow, but it doesn't look right to me. I feel like it really calls for one more pattern repeat to make it slightly wider. So here I have all this work that I've done today, and I'm going to redo it. No, I can't leave it like this. I'm going to unravel this whole thing and start all over.